Hi, this is Ellen Drummond Curtis with Ellen Enchantment Divinations in direct association with Ellen's Entanglement Theory. I am so happy and blessed to be with you today. I just had a Tarot Tuesday session with a few ladies, and we went over the eights. So the Strength card in the tarot, the Star card, which is 1 plus 7, the 17 to equal 8, and the Eight of Pentacles, the Eight of Wands, the Eight of Cups, and the Eight of Swords. I will be sharing my screen to go over those slides. All right, so here I'm going to present. We have loading. Thank you for your patience. The Strength card. So the Strength card is this image of this beautiful, spiritual, loving lady tending to this lion's tooth, it looks like, tending to his body. For me, this woman represents spirit, and this lion represents ego. And when we heal and love the ego, and we care and have compassion in any instant where we feel that our ego needs some coddling and nurturing, that is what to me is being expressed in this card. And keywords are action, bravery, care for others, instinct, tolerance, responsibility. Positives are remaining strong, caring for others, finding your inner strength, having a strong sense of responsibility. Negatives, giving up on what you want to benefit others, people trying to knock you down. That could be the ego coming in and having some kind of a conversation with somebody else's ego, and then feathers get stiff and ruffled. And the last negative is being willing to accept less than you deserve. So I think a key component of the Strength card is to know your worth and to soothe the ego and understand its role. The ego is what gets us up every day to be ready to go to work or go to school or whatever we do. The ego is protecting us at all times. The ego is what helps us decide we want to be good at something. But sometimes the ego can be like the little me, like my Reverend at Unity says, who sits on our shoulder, and somebody who is caught up in ego can be a little bit, self-absorbed at times too. But with this spiritual lady with the Lemnis gate, with the infinity symbol over her head, with her tending to this lion, it is showing that we must understand the beautiful role that the id, ego, and superego of Freudian terms that they play in our lives. Strength versus justice. So I talked about this. In the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, however, AE Waite plays strength as 8th trump and justice as the 11th trump. Naturally, he was quite criticized for changing the traditional placement of these cards, but then this placement makes more sense on an astrological perspective because, the 8th month in this current calendar is August, and that's Leo season, Leo the lion. Strength card is the card of Leo, and justice is the card of Libra with the scales, the 1 and the 1 and the 11, they balance. And of course, Libra comes after Leo in the zodiacal wheel, and it makes sense that justice would come after strength, and strength would come before justice. These changes put the cards in proper order astrologically, and according to Waite, it was the true order of the cards in the major arcana. And then this is from the website. It says, as I've always said, the cards of the major arcana tell a story of the journey of the divine fool. They depict this journey as it moves through all the 3 planes of existence: the material plane, the mind plane, and the spiritual plane. So in some decks, like maybe some Doreen Virtue decks, you may see that Strength is the 11th card and Justice is the 8th card, but the Rider-Waite-Smith has them as Strength is the 8th and Justice is the 7th. I mean the 11th, pardon me. Eight of Pentacles, Earth. So this is about putting the work in, learning a trade. This is about results, mastery, employment, work, preparation, crafts, and development. And the positives are mastery of a subject, being an expert, making money from your passion, money from teaching authority in your niche. Negatives are having to wait a long time, not seeing returns overnight, requires more patience than most people have. So this is something where you're putting a dedicated effort into, like say I'm learning how to be a proofreader or I'm learning a trade of like electrical work or something. There are all these kinds of skills and crafts that we can learn like artisans and really apply ourselves to these practices. So it's no wonder that this man is toiling away, working away at this pentacle, because with the 9 of Pentacles there's going to be this luxury and this beauty of being alone and being so abundant on one's own and in their own time, that it made sense that with the 8 of Pentacles, that's where the work was put in to achieve the 9, and then the 10 of the happy family and the legacy and the inheritance and the passing down of dowries and and gifts and glories. 8 of Wands, Fire. Somebody in the group today mentioned that this is a travel card as well as a messages card. So messages, travel, communication, emails, letters, social media, fast, quick. Positives, everything will quickly take shape, all will come together nicely. News you welcome, social media for fun. So this is the instantaneous receipt of comments and chats and all that online, as well as going and flying to somebody else. Say I have a friend who's going to Arizona. That's the energy of the 8 of Wands. It's like very fiery and immediate. Negatives, things moving too fast, being unable to stay on top of everything. Gossip causes trouble, so that's with social media. The downside of that is that there's a lot of falsehood, like fake news, or there's also just a lot of like misperceived intentions and expectations. People can put their best foot forward, they think, on social media, but are they being really honest? Or do they really look like that? That kind of a thing. And social media as a burden. So remember, this is just travel, but also synchronistic communication. So something I was telling the group earlier is I may have a message or like a notification from my YouTube subscriptions that comes in, and it's exactly the kind of thought that I had just had or that I woke up with, or the song I had in my head as I woke up, and then I get a notification that that song is on my feed. And I think that's really cool, something awesome to look at with the 8 of Wands. 8 of Cups, water, walking away, abandonment, lack of importance, significance being overestimated. So boundaries are misaligned here. You could be leaving a toxic connection. You could be leaving a toxic work environment, something like that. Positives, I thought this was really interesting. A light-haired female who can help. I compare that to the Star card with her healing work and her destiny work, which we'll see in a few moments. Friends who offer assistance, walking away from what doesn't serve you. Negatives, guilt over having to abandon people. As I said in the group earlier, I felt that a little bit when I left my alcoholic ex, but it was okay because you know what? I didn't need to continue staying with him. I was enabling him, and we were not good for each other. So it was obviously the best thing that could have happened that the relationship dissolved. But I still felt a little bit of like, oh man, but doesn't he need me? No, No one can save anybody else. Save yourself. Turn to spirit all times. At all times. Turn to spirit is my advice. And look at your guides and angels. Look to them and your ancestors and past lives, whatever you believe. And just know that something is ending so that something else can begin. So one door closes, a window opens, that kind of thing. Something not being as important as it seems. So again, expectations, intentions, and then significance being overestimated. So maybe there was something in the prior relationship with the prior workplace or the prior health state or whatever you're evaluating with this card, something that was really important to you, that needs to be held on to for a little bit and processed. So that's key. But knowing that those cups upright, you're leaving because they're not enough. They're material, they're of the world. Something spiritually higher maybe in your path now because you decided to leave something behind and go toward more emotionally fulfilling and beneficial waters. Eight of Swords, air, bad news, restrictions, embarrass, self-consciousness, abuse, blame, slander. Whoa, okay. This woman can cut herself free. In the After Tarot that I own, where it shows the scene right after the primary Rider-Waite-Smith depiction, there's a man cutting her free with one of the swords. She could easily, reach for one of the swords and cut herself free and undo the blindfold, but she's not doing that right now because she's stuck in a self-imposed prison. So positives, you have something to covet. Maybe that's why you got tied up. You're successful in some way. You don't make rash decisions, okay? Negatives, criticisms, and slander. Be careful what you talk about. It brings about after the talking, it's brought forward because, Mary Morrissey and others have said everything is created at least twice, once in the mind and then in physical manifestation. So maybe she had some kind of thought, this woman in this picture had some kind of thought that led to her being in the self-imposed imprisonment. And then deciding that she can free herself is the key. Choosing that free will choice as a gift from spirit, a gift of grace, freely given, is that she can cut herself free. She can decide. She has free will. Having controlling people around you, those could be the swords. Those swords can represent people and mental affliction. Placing restrictions on yourself, as we said, and being in bad health. So be aware of all that because, the body does not have to be a prison either. The body can be a Merkaba, a bright, light, white chariot, which is what Merkaba means, and carrying you forward toward your dreams and destinations of hope and clarity and vision and wisdom. The Star, dreams fulfilled. Okay, the card of Aquarius. So it's interesting. Something I pointed out with Tarot Tuesdays earlier is that the Strength card, 8, typically 8, is a card of Leo with a lion in it, right? And then the Star is a card of Aquarius, and that both of those signs are fixed that take place in the middle of a season. Leo is in the middle of summer, and Aquarius is in the middle of winter. And on the World card, you'll see that all the fixed signs are there. The eagle for Scorpio, not in any order, the bull for Taurus, the man, the water bearer for Aquarius, and the lion for Leo. And then these other keywords: good prospects, health improvements, hope. Yes, of course, hope. Jealousy, because somebody may be having the celebrity life or a great life that you envy, and there may be some kind of residual resentment for that. But know that if somebody else has done something, you can too. So if there's an 8-figure generating person mogul on YouTube who's working from home and getting so much revenue from it, you can too. You can make these dreams become actualized in your life just by realizing the vision in your mind. Something I like to say now that came to me clairaudiently is when you hold it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand, okay? And then the heart will connect you to your soul's purpose. And then wishes is another key word. Positives, reassurance you'll get what you want. Dreams coming true. Health improvements, especially after the Eight of Swords, please. Hope for the future. Wishes granted. Negatives, loss and theft, because, there could be intellectual property theft, there could be patent theft, there could be all these different kinds of disconnect from your vision because of loss and theft, because maybe somebody covets, like the other card said, somebody covets your life. So that could be where that comes in. Other people's jealousy interfering in your life, because all that glitters is not gold. Upset that you're not getting what you expect, even if it is not good. So we could have those expectations that, like, oh, um, somebody I know could want to marry some guy, and the expectation with that is that there's going to be a wonderful life, and then it didn't turn out well, but then my friend still wants the marriage even though it's in shambles and there's adultery or whatever's going on. And sometimes the wish with the star card is that there will be more of a pursuit of that connection, but maybe it's not in the cards, so to say. So knowing that you are so worthy of unconditional love that you can generate that wherever you go, and you can manifest and attract that to you, that's amazing. That's the power of the aspected positively version of the star card. When the star is in reverse, just know that maybe you need to shift your perspective a little bit, kind of like the hanged man in a way. Okay, reading the four elements: earth, fire, water, air, strength, and the eights and the star. Name that card. So, strength could be spiritual fortitude. The Eight of Pentacles could be apprenticeship. The star could be hope and healing. Action phrase like the Eight of Wands could be expedite. How? Give it an ly word. One of the women in the class said that the Eight of Wands was like swiftly. The star could be restoratively. The Eight of Cups could be solemnly. All these things, song or quote. Moving on up from the Jeffersons with the Eight of Cups, something like that. What does Spirit want me to know? What should I reflect on in this moment? What is the core message? If you get the Strength card and the Star card, something I said earlier in the class was, what if the woman in the Star card is the same woman, or maybe it was like the sister or something in the Strength card, and those women are paired together uh, to love and to heal and to be a beacon of light to all who know her, the lion and the water, and the strength and the star cards, respectively. Journal a memory I have of like the Eight of Swords might be when I was with my ex, who, maybe contributed to my feeling disconnected from the outside world. Maybe I felt, which I did. I did feel like there was a kind of an abusive air to our connection, a feeling of that. And I don't have to. I know now that I never, had to put up with it. But there were some good times that were, if it were the Eight of Cups, I would kind of look back longingly. But remember, when Lot's wife looked back in the Bible, she turned into a pillar of salt. So I don't want to look back on something that was demoralizing to me in any way. I want to go forward confidently and boldly and bravely in the direction of my dreams. So there's that. Something I did not go over in the Tarot Tuesdays class earlier at 4 was the minor arcana suits. Wands are passions, creation, ambition, spirit, inspiration, expansion. Woo. Cups, love, relationships, subconscious, intuition, connections and emotions. Swords, aggression, conflict, the challenge suit, right? Communication, force, movement, intellect, love that. Pentacles, finances, business, health, education, building, and materialism. Love that. That was really cool. I found that on Pinterest. And tarot in the 4 elements: fire, water, air, and earth. Knights and wands go with fire. Queens and cups go with water. Kings and swords go with air. And pages and pentacles are associated with earth. And this is the cheat sheet. Earth signs are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Air signs are Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. And water signs are Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. Thank you so much, everybody. I'm going to stop share. Let's see. So thank you so much, and I can't wait to see you again next week. Take care. Namaste.